Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host. As always, you can catch me right here each and every day, Monday through Friday, from 5 to 6 p.m. You know what we do here? We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you in this community, we will talk about it. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. Tell a friend to tell a friend that tell the truth and shame the devil is on the air. I told you all that I would have a very special guest, but I didn't tell you who it was going to be. Well, she's in the studio right now, Miss none other than Shalonda Ford. And we're definitely welcome to have her in this studio. So we're going to switch over so you can see Miss Ford, and we're going to talk about some things as it relates to her candidacy for the office she's running for. Good evening, Miss Ford. Welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're so glad to have you uh, on the show today to talk to the people about your candidacy. A lot of people know who you are already, and you held the office of the assessor,
Register.
registered. I'm so sorry, registered office. And we want you to introduce yourself. Just take your time and just tell the people who you are, what you office you held, and what office you're running for again.
Sure. Again, my name is Shalandra Y. Ford. I am the former Register of Deeds from 2018 to 2022, and the Register office at 1075 Mullins Station. That office maintained the legal permanent records of all property ownership and transfer for Memphis and Shelby County. And a second piece is we also house the historical records in our archive division. So we're over not only the registrar's office, but we have a second piece, which is the historical archive. And that's a part of the registrar's office as well.
Okay, and you're running again for the office uh, about that. Let me tell the people right now. I was impressed with you
Hmm.
when you was in the office
Hmm.
uh, of the uh, D,
Uh-huh.
and when you was in the office, you did something that I think was magnificent. You helped a lot of people uh, not to lose their homes to fraud. Tell us a little bit about that.
Correct. In 2019, well, let me just begin that when I took over the office in 2018, September of 2018, I was faced with some things that were already pending. That means pre-existing lawsuits, fraudulent deed filings within Shelby County within that operation, which is the registrar's office. So a lot of things that I inherited my first 4 years of being in the registrar's office. With that being said, some of them was pending pending lawsuits, pre-existing lawsuits of people that had lost their homes due to fraudulent deed filings. And so I quickly, with my new administrative staff, we were able to make a lot of changes within that 4 years. And I'll kind of go into it with details, explain it to you. The first thing that I did is to develop a property fraud alert program. And again, I implemented and developed that program through BIS. That was one of our support systems that helped us to implement the property fraud alert program. And I made it available for free for the citizens of Shelby County in order to protect their home from property theft. But that was only a temporary fix until then, until I was able to actually sit down with the state legislators and rewrite or amend some of those bylaws. And the issue was that those laws that the Shelby County Registrar's Office and many other Shelby County offices, they are governed by these old, outdated, or antiquated bylaws, which need to be amended. And So I reached out to our state representatives first of all, and I reached out to our legal team of Shelby County government, and also to the state representatives and county commissioners, and they got involved. And I shared with them the amendment, the new provisions that I would like to see put in place. So I then took it upon myself and lobbied me to go before the state legislators, and I did that on my very own. I went to Nashville and I presented a presentation to the state at the state capitol, explaining, that the citizens in Shelby County were in dire need of protection, for us to better safeguard their homes.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I shared to them the new provisions which wanted to put in place, and that was to add stiffer penalties, because at that time the penalties were like very low. So I wanted to expand on the penalties, and then I wanted to be able ask for identification, because right now, as it stands with the current bylaws, we were unable to ask anyone for proper identification if the document was already notarized. We had to just accept it, and we had to record it. So that's because of the current bylaws that are set in place now. So under my new provision, or my new laws, I wanted to incorporate where we could actually ask for identification from each party that we're trying to come in and file quit claim deeds and any changes to real estate property. So that was something. And the last piece of my proposal was to provide some type of restitution to the victims. I thought that maybe it costs a lot of money, and to reverse this thing, if this happens to someone. So I wanted the crooks or the criminals to be able to provide restitution to the victims. So with that being said, as an outcome, it was approved through the Criminal Justice Committee. It did pass the first phase, and this was back in 2022.
Okay.
In February 2022, it did pass the first phase through the Criminal Justice Committee, and we had one more committee for it to be approved and set in the law book, changed. But unfortunately, it was around election time, re-election time,
Okay.
and unfortunately, I lost the election. But this is something that is dear to my heart, and this is something I stand on, and I'm pushing for the citizens. Once I get back in office, I really want to see this bill to be passed and implemented to better, provide better safety or better safeguard the people of Shelby County and their property, because your property is your biggest investment that you will ever make, in a lifetime. So this is very important to me. And then having integrity, and and as elected official, unlike some of them, I was really like in the office daily. Some elected officials, they didn't come to work, or you know they they came when they felt like it. But unlike that, unlike me, I was there every day. So and I pride myself in that, because I became an effective leader, and I was able to have town hall committees, town hall forums. That means I went out to different areas, like neighborhood associations in different areas, to see the needs of the citizens. And that was most important, is the outreach part of it, to stay in contact, in touch with the citizens, see what their needs were.
Well, I always, Ms. Ford, talk about the fact that we have individuals who sit on their hands when they get into the office.
Yes.
And we'll have individuals that are not qualified to do what you have done. And you have done a service to the community. And I want to personally thank you, because I sit here And I watched from time to time in Nashville, the House and the Senate.
Mhm.
And I remember and recall you being on there because a friend of mine, Miss Carmen Johnson,
Mhm.
and know her quite well. We worked together at the sheriff's office for years.
Mhm.
She told me about the fact of what you were going to do. And
Mhm.
I so happened to turn on the television and listen to how you made your presentation, very professional.
Yes, sir.
And I said, this is what I'm talking about, having qualified people in the office to serve the people. And when you got that passed and you spoke to the legislator,
Mhm.
they enjoyed it, and I watched them. They was asking you questions,
Yes.
and you had the answer
Yes.
sharp. You had the answer to whatever question they had. And I was really, let me say this openly to you and to all my listeners, I was very proud of
Mhm.
this lady to stand there and do something that really affects the community. But go ahead. Yeah. And she,
Oh, it's fair. Sorry.
no, you go ahead, no problem. But you really help the people. Now, from what I'm understanding, you could just walk in with a piece of paper and say, for instance, my property. Somebody could just walk in, have a copy of a deed and say, I'm filing this because this is my property. And before you did, a lot of people was losing their home because people was coming in just filing fraud deed. Is that correct?
That is correct, and that's still, and just for information, FYI,
Mm-hmm.
that is still existing, and that's because the citizens are not protected under current bylaws because we can't. It's not set in place under the bylaws that we can ask for proper identification. So that's how they have those documents already pre-notarized.
Mm-hmm.
So that means a lot of times they know family members, or they may know the notary, the person that's notarizing the documents. It could be a friend of the family or just someone that someone knew. So we can't question as long as it meets all the legal standards, as long as the document is legible and it's stamped by a notary and the notary is applicable. We have to record the document, and we're not knowing up front that it's fraudulent
Mm-hmm.
until the homeowner comes up, finds out, hey, this document that was filed against my property is fraudulent. But one thing about it is, under that property fraud alert program that I developed, and let me just go back,
Okay.
that my education speaks for itself,
Mm-hmm.
because I am educated not only in business management and development. I do have a degree also in computer technology.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first trade, study computer technology. But however, the program that I implemented is that the homeowners, they will register for this program, just sign up for it, and this is like a notification, it sends them a notification if anyone tries to obtain any information or try to change anything pertaining to their legal deed. This property fraud alert program will notify them. So you register with using your telephone number and possibly an email address. So that means if someone comes in our local office and try to obtain some information or try to alter your deed, you will be quickly notified. And again, this was just only a temporary fix until we can get those laws, changed and rewritten, amended on the state level.
Okay. Now, when you talked about you can send an email or you go, how do they do that to get on? My wife made mention of that. And
Uh-huh.
I said, Did you know about this?" She said, "Baby, it's already done." Yeah.
I made it so user friendly, Mr. Bernard. I made it so user friendly for everyone. It's just a click of the button. So you actually go onto the register's website, and it's an icon that says property. It should be an icon that says property fraud alert program, and you click on that icon, and it's self-explanatory. You just register, you input your name, your and your email address that you're going to use in your telephone number, so you can register. But it's simple, and once you get registered, like I said, if anything happens to that property, while you registered under that program, you will receive a notification via email. So it's a quick alert to let you know that, hey, something is going on regarding my property and I need to check on it. And that way you can contact the registrar's office and we can see what's going on. And a lot of times it could be a false alert because some people, you even get an alert, pre-alert if you're like refinancing your home, like if anything happens, transpire with the property, this property fraud free fraud alert program is going to notify you. So that's the pros and cons of the program. It'll notify you of any changes.
Well, and long before you got there and was elected to that office, uh, things like this, and I call this thinking outside of the box.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people come in and say, hey, I'm in the office, I'm elected, I'm going to sit down and just let the office go on. But you went into the office thinking outside of the box and say, this has come into my attention. What can I do to make this better? So you implemented this, you went to Nashville, you did your homework,
Mm-hmm.
and the citizen, that's why I asked you to come on this program
Mm-hmm.
to talk to the citizens about the thing that you have done and
Mm-hmm.
the thing that you want to continue to do. So
Mm-hmm.
if you got anything else you want to tell the citizen as it relates to your vision to get back in this office and do the work that you have already done
Yes, sir.
and to continue to doing the good work, you have the microphone. Go ahead.
I just want to thank you. I would like the citizens to know that I take pride in what I do, and I follow up. Unlike some of the elected bodies, I hold the office with great integrity, transparency. That means anything happens, I'm truthful, and any concerns, we're going to deal with it and try to resolve it. We practice 100% customer service, and I was there. You have to be there in the midst of it all to know what changes need to be made. And you have to be part of your administration, not just being elected in office and sit at home and to draw a check.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the reason, that these elected officials should be in office. And secondly, the citizens needed, second part of the citizens' concerns were that the registrar's office, it was only one central location, and that was 1075 Mullins Station. And they talked to me at a town hall meeting, said, Miss Ford, we need other, locations. And under that, I was able to implement or open a satellite office at 157 downtown, and then also a satellite office at the Southbrook Mall. So I did make the office more accessible
Mm-hmm.
to all of Shelby County. I mean, because I felt like we did need other offices in, different part of the city, the county, in order to make it more accessible for our citizens. So that was something that I worked and I was able to implement in my 4-year term. I was able to incorporate 2 satellite offices as well. So I think I did what I said I was going to do as elected official. Whatever the people asked of me, I made sure I did it. I went out the way and I made sure I did it because one, the people are the ones that elected me in office, and I made a promise, to be there to be a great public servant, and that's what I practiced. For 24 years, I've been a public servant. Even working at the health department, general sessions, and now being elected bodies.
Mm-hmm.
But I stand on my word. Whatever I promised the citizens, I would do my best to, make it happen. And in this instance, I know property fraud alert right now, since I've been absent for this last 4 years or not in office, property property theft is now up by 33%.
Wow.
And it was just told on Fox 13 News a couple of weeks ago. They interviewed the current registrar, and they were like, "What are you gonna do about it?" And it was like um, the person tried to take credit for the things that were already in place, and it was like you have no platform of what you're going to do or what you've done in those 4 years. Like, where does it stand now? The citizens are still being victimized, and still losing their properties due to, fraudulent deed filing. But my curve is that I would go back before the state legislator and the state legislation and ask them to revisit my bylaws, or revisit my proposal,
Mm-hmm.
and hey, let's pass this bill. Let's put something that's concrete in place that will be able to better service the Shelby County, the citizens in Shelby County. And that's my goal, is to be that public service that the people of Shelby County needs.
Well, let me ask you this: that I'm being a citizen,
Hmm.
and I get a call, and someone is telling me that someone has attached their name to my property. I come to you, give me the steps, because there's a lot of people out there listening. They want to know the steps. We come to you first, and just tell us what steps that the people need to do to get their property back.
Well, it becomes a legal issue.
Okay.
Once the property is stolen, you do have to, we request that you notify, the courts, the criminal, because it's a criminal offense.
Mm-hmm.
Property theft is a criminal offense, but you'll notify the authority, the property authority, which is, you'll notify the police department, and then you have to obtain an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
It is very expensive because you'll have to go through the courts to get these. To A lot of times you have to go through the courts to get it revised or to get it changed. So that's why it was critical for me to ask for, um, the restitution for the victims, because it can be very costly. And from there, they would have to show that they are the rightful owners, and they have to show their original paperwork, which the register office would have should have the first records, so, the permanent records of
Mm-hmm.
it. And they would have to go through the court proceedings in order, a lot of times, to reverse it, to reverse the property theft.
Right.
So that means it doesn't reverse itself overnight. You do have to go through legal proceedings.
All right. You're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host. My very special guest is the former uh, clerk of the Register of Deed,
Hmm.
and I'm talking to Miss Solanda Ford, and she wants to get back in that office. She wants to work and continue doing the work that she was doing already in place, and we need to put her back in office. Let me say this, and to all my listeners, if you got you got an individual who's working and working on your behalf, we need to keep these people in office, because we got so many people are in office just for a paycheck. And right now she's doing the work, and that's what we need. We need people like Miss Ford to be in the office. And just say, if something happened and I come to you and I say to you, look, this is what's going on with my property. Would you recommend that people periodically call the register deed, ask questions about their property? Should that be a thing that they do? Uh,
Yes. Hmm.
okay.
We actually have a Q&A. That means question and answers, that the register that we had implemented, that was helpful for the property owners. Now, so we highly recommend, well, I highly recommend every 6 months to a year to really give the registrar's office a call and just check on your property. If you're a property owner, landowner, just call just to check the status, to make sure that the documents, or make sure that you're still listed as the rightful owner. Because a lot of times these thieves come at night, that not come at night,
Hmm.
but a lot of times we're unaware of it. And especially our elderlies, they are the victims, the biggest victims, because a lot of times they get these mechanical liens placed on their properties. So they don't even know that they have lost their properties till the end, until
Wow.
someone is knocking at their door, putting their stuff out on the street. So I strongly suggest at least every 6 months to a year to really check on your property if you are a property owner, because like I said, the property is the biggest investment. Owning property, property ownership is
Hmm.
the biggest investment that one will make, a person can make in their lifetime.
Right.
And we want to save our properties, for generations to generations to come. And we want to be, we need to safeguard, the property deeds, for Shelby County. And it's an issue, and it's an issue that needs to be addressed, not just brushed under the rug. This is an issue, and the laws needs to be changed. The laws that needs to be changed to protect the citizens from fraudulent deed filing.
All right. You're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil with my guest today, Mr. Lander Ford of the Office of Registered Deeds. And that's you done worked all your life to get this property.
Hmm.
And you got thieves that come as she said, like a thief in the night,
Hmm.
that would come and say, "Hey, this is Miss Lula." Let me use
Hmm.
that term. Miss Lula is in her 80s, 90s.
Right.
She don't have any family members to
Hmm.
look out over her to make sure. And all of a sudden, Miss Lula is at home. There's a call. There's a knock rather on the door about 4, 5 in the morning.
Hmm.
It'd be the sheriff's department coming. I was a deputy sheriff. I worked in that division for
Hmm.
a little while, uh, but I couldn't stand that. So I got into another division because I hate to see people being evicted, put out.
Hmm.
No one to check on Miss Lula.
Hmm.
And now here she is, done lost the property.
Hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, if she up in age, she probably ain't got the money that you spoke of,
Right.
that you have to get a lawyer and all of this to go through the process.
Correct.
And people done got your property. So now I would ask you, when you said the penalty,
Hmm.
can this be a felony or would this still be a misdemeanor?
Right now, it's under the current bylaws. The felony. It's a misdemeanor. The felony is so low that it's considered a misdemeanor.
Okay.
So, my proposed bill. I have a copy of it.
Go
I
ahead.
keep
Tell
it
us
with me
about it.
like the Bible,
Yeah,
because
I
like I said,
understand.
I stand strongly on it. But I propose different, like I said, different penalties, and we wanted to amend that bill.
Hmm.
Uh, and I could just explain it to the citizens.
Go ahead.
It was like the current criminal offense. It's a Class E felony. Um, that's what it currently is now. Is a Class E felon, and we wanted to. I proposed to have it amended to a Class D felony, and that means, and I wanted to impose, and I'll just read some of
Okay.
it to the citizens so they could better understand it. So I went before the state legislators and request that it be increased from a Class E felony to a Class D felony, and I also imposed a mandatory sentence of not less than 2 to 3 years incarcerations, and the max is 12 years of
Mm.
incarceration. I also included a mandatory fine up to $5,000 per offense if this is done during during the fraudulent deed filing. And then the last piece of it is I propose us to be able to put a better provision to be able to ask for required identification. So this was done, and it was under HB, which is House Bill 2810, and it was presented by State Representative G.A. Hardaway. But unfortunately, we presented the bill. It was assigned to the Criminal Justice Bureau February 15th, 2022. It was approved, it was introduced to the House floor, and it said it passed the Criminal Justice Committee on February. Well, actually, it was filed and introduced February the 2nd of 2022, and it passed the Criminal Justice Subcommittee February 7th, 2022, and it was assigned to, further go before other legislative bodies as of February 15th, 2022. But unfortunately, like I said, during that time, 2022, it was during our reelection. So the bill came to a halt. It was approved, the first half was approved, and the bill came to a halt. And unfortunately, uh, your 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 current current register never picked it up. Never pushed forward. So that would be my goal, is to get back in office and to revisit, like I said, revisit the state legislators and get this bill passed to better, safeguard, uh, the documents, the deeds, for the citizens of Shelby County.
Wow, I can only give you applause for what you have done. And this is what we need. This is what this show is all about. It's about telling the people who are out here working on behalf of the people and doing the right thing. And I must applaud you, commend you for the work that you're doing. And we're going to do everything we can to tell the people. And I'm asking all of my friends and Facebook and watching me here in Memphis and Shelby County. You got relatives, you got friends, you got co-workers. Tell them about this program today, and most of all, share this program so that people out of all of this venue, you got YouTube, you got X, you got Spotify, you got it all that we are broadcasting from, and we want you to share this because this is the type of individual, what I often say, wannabe politicians. This is the type of individual that is a leader that stand up, speak up on your behalf. This is who we need in office. You have heard from Miss Solanda Ford what she had done the first 4 years she was in office, what she put on the table, what she went to on your behalf, went to Nashville, sat down with the legislator, and got this bill passed that she just read to you. And then she went as far as said, let me make sure I take care of the citizen, because I'm going to say now, this is the penalty that I think that they should have. Talking about 5 years, 15 years, or whatever the years she just gave you. That's working on your behalf, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the type of leader that we need in the community. Because now I'm a little hesitant as it relates to the register of deed uh, individual that's in there now. Is he doing this? No, he is not. Is he sitting back just drawing a paycheck? Hey, probably so. But we got a lady here that was elected to that office and showed you what she would do when she got into the office. And I can't do nothing but applaud her. Hey, you can give us a call at 901-288-5779. Again, 901-288-5779 if you want to talk to Miss Solanda Ford, the former clerk of the Register of Deed, who doing her job and did her job on behalf of you. You got the election coming up. We need to make sure that you put her back in office. Hey, give us a call. Call the listeners you out there. Chuck, give us a call if you have any question in regard to what Miss Ford has done. And I'm so proud of you. Let me say that to you again.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
am proud of the work that you have done. And if you're listening and you want to call, I just gave you the number. You ought to have some questions to ask her. Uh, she told you what she would do if she get back in the office, and you need to put her back in the office because she's working on your behalf. Get away from that old riff-raff politician. You know, you got to be this or you got to be a part of this. When you get a person that's doing the job, that's who you need to put in office. And again, I say to you, I give my 100% support to Miss Solanda Ford. And I want you to pass that name around. And when you go, and I'm going to definitely do that, I will definitely put all of her information. I got some already on this Facebook page, and I'm going to spread it all over. But I'm asking you, my listeners, the friends on Facebook, let's do this. And you know, I've been telling you, we got to take some of them off that school board. We got to take some off the county commission. I've said to you, and I'm saying to you now, we got to put Miss Ford back in the office of Register of Deeds. Miss Ford, I'm gonna give you the microphone again and let you close out and make your plea to the people. And again, I want to thank you, ma'am, for coming in and being a part. And come to find out, you and my wife, y'all was talking a moment ago. Y'all was on the campaign trail together
Yes.
back in the day when she ran for criminal court clerk.
Yes.
And y'all remembered each other, and I was just glad to have the opportunity to introduce her to you as well. And hey, strong ladies doing the right thing, and I thank God for you. So you have the microphone, and we can close this out.
Yes. Thank you again. And one thing that I failed to actually disclose that when I won the office in 2018, that I made history. I was actually the very first African American person to ever hold that office since
Mhm.
1820, and then secondly of being a female, African American female. So that was something grand, to make that stance and to become elected bodies and the first first ever African American to hold that office. So that means a lot to me, and that means that I owe the people, of Shelby County and us as elected officials, we owe the people that vote us in those offices to do the work that we promise, to do while we're serving them. And with that being said, I have 24 years of public service. You can check my background, you can check my track record. While in office, we never had any hiccups. Those 4 years, we were able to, overturn at least $4 million. We were able to give it back to, the Shelby County government for them to utilize in other departments and areas. We just had a transparent, a team that practiced integrity. You have to have a team that practice transparency, and have to have a team that care for the people of Shelby County, and that's something that you would get when you select to put me back in office. You would have someone that really cares for the people and they have the heart of the people. And I asked for your support to return me back into the registrar's office to further, the work that I'm doing for the citizens.
All
Thank you.
right. I thank you for coming in. I thank you for being a part. And I'm looking at you. You just enjoy doing that job, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you love doing it, didn't you?
I did.
And you
Yes,
love working for the people, didn't
I did. That's come natural. That public service that comes now. 24 years.
you? Mm-hmm.
That's my heart. It's really being able. I can sleep at night. Knowing that the citizens are protected, that their property is protected. But for these last 4 years, to hear on the news that the numbers are increasing, that people are still losing their homes, that very concerns me. Like, who do we have in office now, and what are they doing? And I can't do the work if I'm not there in the office. So that's why I am, that's why I chose to run for this position, is to complete the work that I started.
Okay, well, let me say this to you. You're running for office.
Yes, sir.
And we want you to give your information out where people, if they want to come by, volunteer and help you, if they
Hmm.
want to make a donation
Hmm.
to your campaign, give all that information out and give it not once, but give it twice so they can get their pencils and write it down. Because I know after this show,
Uh
a lot
huh.
of people are going to help you to get back in that office. And I'm asking them to do that because I really appreciate you and support you
Yes, sir.
because you done the work.
Yes, sir.
How many people are going to get up and go to Nashville
Hmm.
and go and talk to the legislators and get this thing done on behalf of the people in the city of Memphis? Again, I commend you,
Thank you.
ma'am, and you keep up the good work. And the microphone again is yours. And you tell the people the information how they can contact you if they want to donate, your website or whatever you
Hmm.
got. Just do it all.
Thank you. Well, my campaign, I am on Facebook, and I'm under elect Shalandra Y. Ford for Shelby County Register. But we do have a website. I do have a website, and that website is www.voteshalandrayford.com. And I'll spell my first name is Vote, and my name is spelled Shelandra, the initial Y, and then Ford, Ford.com. So that is my website. and you can also you'll get a chance to read my bio and learn of some of the things that I did in previous is your previous register. You would see all of that information on this website, and at the bottom you're able, if you would like to leave a donation, and I'm not critical where I tell people they have to donate a certain amount,
Mhm.
but if you wish to donate to my campaign, you can do so. It has a button where you can put in whatever you like to donate, and all donations are welcome. Must I say, all donations are needed, and all donations are welcome. But with that being said, again, if you're on Facebook, you can pull me up. I am a doctor, you know, ministry, so you can pull it up under. It's actually under Dr. Shalandra Ford if you're on Facebook. And my campaign again, my website for the campaign again is www.voteshalandrawhiteforward.com. And my telephone number is 901-467-7568. If you have any questions or concerns, or if you just want, to talk more and find out more about my platform, feel free to contact me at 901-467-7568.
And that's the number they can call if they want to get the word out. If they
Yes.
want to campaign with you and walk the street with you, they can contact that as well, right?
Yes, and lastly, I forgot to tell them that I have a campaign meet and greet that's scheduled for this Saturday, and it's going to be at 3121 Directors Road. Again, it starts from 5 to 7. It's a meet and greet for friends and family to elect Shalandra Ford. The address is 3121 Directors Road, and that's going to be this Saturday meet and greet from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And you're welcome if you want to stop by, meet and greet with me, have some questions or concerns, or like to leave an in-kind donation, you can do so.
Right. Thank you again for coming in and being a part of this program. It's Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I want everyone that's listening to me to subscribe to this program and to help Miss Ford get back into the office. As you well know, we have problems in Memphis when it comes down to our elected official. We want you to support someone that's really working on behalf of you. And Miss Shalanda Ford is doing that. Let's put her, ladies and gentlemen, back in that seat of clerk of register and the hey, I'm Jennings Bernard. I really do appreciate you. In the words of my grandmother, she used to always say, it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. We'll see you on tomorrow. But remember what I say. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. And you can subscribe by going down there, hit that subscribe button, as well as hitting the like button. Hey, and you done me a big favor. God bless you. May you be kept. I'm really enjoying this because, hey, I really do appreciate you. You take care, and we will see you on tomorrow. Take care, and hit that register button and like. Take care. Have a great evening.